So it's not really a podcast format. It's more just general radio talk show at this point. So welcome to 4 a.m. Deadline Radio, where we are just one of the many voices of the internet, of VRChat. So we, as in us, for now, we just we are hosting an open deck as we speak, and as the namesake goes, it is up until 4 a.m., which is in Pacific time at least. Currently, right now, we've been doing a 3-hour set of varying genres, starting from techno to D&B to trance, back to D&B to house to anime. So the whole point of 4 a.m. Deadline Radio, when we originally created it, was that it was a way of providing a place for, like, here in the virtual space, for people to come through and come play. And back when I, as Shadow, started DJing in VR, I just went to a random public world and just, like, 4 a.m. that was my cutoff time whenever I was streaming, where, like, I would start at 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Pacific time. And so that's how we originated with the name of 4 a.m. Deadline Radio. And then slowly 4 a.m. DR evolved. And so did my creative prospects and aspects. So technically, what I was saying earlier, before I hit the record button, is that this Vroid here, the blue one specifically, that is one of my many identities and personas and characters that I use for streaming. I'm also, like, checking over on chat on this side, so so if I look that way, it's easier. As of right now, we are also listening to Chrysaora, who is a wonderful DJ from we're watching them over on... This is some VR Inception here that is available and capable. And the reason why we see glitchiness like this on streams and on video players is because of the codec encoding through my graphics card. I am currently running an AMD 5600, so it's the AMD equivalent of a NVIDIA 2060, or I'd say 2060 is the equivalent there, because 3080 was all the rage when I was building my PC, and that was like the top of the line that scalpers were hunting down after, before we hopped into all of this. But for those that are tuning into 4 a.m. Deadline Radio for the first time ever, welcome aboard. As the host, we'd like to grant you a warm welcome. Now, this is the first time we're actually doing a proper radio format here in VRChat. So I am simulcasting this through both my personal Twitch as well as the official 4 a.m. Deadline Radio Twitch account. Because as I evolved with 4 a.m. DR, there was always the issue of VR DJs always being like, I forgot to record my set, and they played like an abs. If you all tuned in to yesterday's stream, it was we were talking to Noir, who is a good person and who the Zenith podcast here in VR. And one commonality that a lot of us DJs in VR tend to do is we forget to record our sets, and like we can play the best set, like the most absolute banger of a set that's like one of those once every 100 sets that you'll play kind of thing. And with that, people tend to forget to hit the record button, and like with the availability of places like Mixcloud, SoundCloud, where DJs would like to upload and post their sets, I as Shadow Wulf, but then we as 4M Deadline Radio took it upon ourselves as a courtesy for DJs that, hey, we'll come in and we'll record sets and events for you. We'll come through and like we'll come through an event and just like, you know, record your set, you know. And so originally I wanted to tie 4am Deadline Radio with Project Sapien, which is my personal music project. And so for me, I was going through a huge process of creativity. I'm a writing minor, so I have a lot of ideas and just universes I want to create and write about. And so I'm a writer first, musician, well, okay, I'm a hobbyist first and everything else second. It's hard to explain. But I, as Shadow, is very much a multifaceted creator. And so Project Sapien stems from electropunk, which is the robot identity, which I guess I'll post in the set. I don't want to post too many of my own sets on 4amdr too often, because it's very much more, how do I put this, nuanced? I don't know, I just don't want to come off as like, God, greedy in a way, you know, like I don't want to be promoting myself too much, whereas like I feel like I should be promoting on my own channel and things of that nature. Whereas here on 4amdr, I am the host, you know? It's a conflict of interest on being able to promote, whereas I want to promote the artists that are in here, aside from myself. Even though I am an artist in VR, I am of the artists and for the artists, rather than I am there for myself. I hope that makes sense. It's more of an altruistic nature in how I perform doing this. And so that's where a lot of this stems from, is I want to do this as a courtesy. And so when I was creating Project Sapien, I really needed a Dropbox because, well, on the main Twitch account channel for Shadow, is that we tend to record a lot of footage. We get a lot of gameplay, we have a lot of that. And that costs up terabytes upon terabytes upon terabytes of footage, of memory space, and it's a difficult thing. And so, from a business standpoint, and like how to, well, strategize doing a lot of these things as a creator and as a business prospect and aspect of this, is that I also want it to be something to benefit the community too, right? And so what burdens me personally is just like how many different strings I could see behind the scenes, right? So I understand business structures, I understand like how expenses work and things of that sort. So that's the difficulty, is just like I want a full-on like, well, we're working towards making this a full-on legitimate business. Like, I'm very involved with the music scene, and like as a musician myself, I would like to get up there and I'd like to go out and go play for festivals and big music venues myself. And I want to help everyone else that wants to achieve that dream too. And so that's why we started. So to kind of round back to the whole conversation of my different identities and personalities, Shadow is my main gamer tag. That is me. Most people refer to me as Shadow or Wulf or Shadow Wulf, any variation of that. But whenever I talk about we as 4am Deadline Radio, that's going to be the whole entity that is that of VRChat, you know? And so my goal with 4amdr is to become a record label and be able to help push, publish, and promote our friends that are inside VRChat. And like anything that is made from 4amdr goes back into 4amdr to help promote our friends, you know, things of that nature. And if anyone needs anything out of it, we want to help support our friends and provide and be a resource. And something that, like, even on my personal VTuber Twitch streams, that's also what we wanted to do there too. So I guess I'm kind of blending a lot of aspects of content creation between the personality of, or well, just my personal creative side of Shadow Wolf Gaming and 4am Deadline Radio. So with Shadow Wolf Gaming, my personal server, I want it to be as a resource for other streamers, where it's like, if you want to learn how to get into streaming, you want to learn how to get into if you want to learn how to get into VTubing. We've been doing this for the last decade now, and we've followed many creators, and so a lot of what I've studied is just how a lot of these things work, how a lot of these operations work, what it takes, what you need to do to actually be running as a legitimate, viable source of whatever it is you want it to be. And so, me being the creative that I am, there's so many prospects and aspects of everything. So running back to Project Sapien, even though I said that like 5 different times, Project Sapien is my personal music project, amidst my wall list of every album I want to create, that I am creating, in the process of creating. It's not an if, it's a when they get completed. It's just, I have ideas of like what I want to publish and produce. And on the topic of publishing and producing music, the music industry is very competitive. The main music industry that is in the real space is volatile. It is impossible to get in. We want to change. That is our goal here at 4amdr. We want to help get you that foot in the door, so that way you can go play at venues at your local spaces, and then eventually to whatever festival you dream of. We want to help you be that stepping stone. We want to be that stepping stone, help you achieve greater heights. And as we grow, we'll grow. Like as you grow, we'll grow with you. You know, it's a balance of we. And from a personal side of what I've always said is, when I go up, I'm taking you with me. You know, it's a reverse of the if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me kind of thing. And so like, instead of being competitive, we are cooperative, and that is our main thing. And I guess that's a good representation of why there's 2 of us here. Why now this character has that character to work with. And for me personally, I've always been a co-op player growing up. And like, one thing that really hurts me to see, especially with a lot of celebrities and major influencers and identities, is just how volatile and disgusting it is to see everyone step over each other and have to climb over each other as they, like, you know, rise. And it hurts to see. It's disgusting to see. And just there's a lot to it. There is like the level of legalities, there is the level of like using your likeliness and blah 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 blah. There's a lot of nuances involved with that too, which is 100% understandable, especially if you are like one of the bigger talents and you are contracted by whatever place, you know. There's a reason why terms and agreements exist. There's a reason why there's different avenues of existence is there. This is what I mean of like, as a business major, I see all the different veins and strings that are held together, that holds together the industry of which we are in, and that thrives. Okay, so back to the whole music project again. God, this is like a bad joke that itself. Anyways, so back to the music scene. Growing up, I've always wanted to be a rock star. I always wanted to play stages and, you know, be like my heroes, like Green Day. Green Day was one of the biggest bands that I grew up listening to. And just, yeah, Green Day and My Chemical Romance. Like, you ask me what my favorite bands are, it's going to be those 2, Cage the Elephant, AFI, Blink-182. I grew up with all those. And of course, in the electronic music scene, of course we got Daft Punk. And now, with the return of Skrillex, there's a new rise of electronic and just music creators as a whole. We're in a new era. We are in the 2020s. it's a time for a new generation of heroes to come through, a new generation of icons. And this was something I had a very interesting discussion with my dad the other day in the realm of sports. And sports is one of the topics you're not supposed to talk about, but like and it was just like, why is it that we don't have icons these days like like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, I mean, like, we still got LeBron James and them. For those that don't understand basketball, don't worry, like, Ronaldo, I guess, if I was to put on something on a global scale. Or Messi, I guess? Hello. Q's, thank you for the raid. Hold on a second. Frames / shout out Q's. Oh my god. What were you streaming, Q's? Hello, welcome. Yo, Q's, we're hosting an open deck, so you wanna play? Right now we're just kind of doing an open format, just a round table discussion of, the mission statement of 4 AM Deadline Radio, and just kind of But you're more than welcome to join me and come through and come play a set for us. We'll record it for you and post it on YouTube. With your approval, of course. If anything, you'll definitely get a copy, and if you want to post it on your own YouTube channel or wherever, you're more than welcome to do that. Now let me give you that shout out over on my channel. So / shout out. Oh my god. I just pressed S once. HOU. Okay, cool. Shout out at Q's. Let's see. So the difficulty of this is I'm actually running this on a I'm using a Quest right now. And so I'm using virtual desktop because I don't want to have to deal with a wire. I say that as I am currently plugged into my wall charger. Semantics. Anyways, let me boost the size of my other screen here. So you'll see me do a lot of strange motions to the side. These are just the normalities that are in VR. This is honestly normal. So things you don't see is like my camera here, my overlays here, that a lot of other VRChat streamers tend to do. Now let me just oh god, I cannot see the chat. I hate this. Let's see. Lol, I feel like everyone is trying to get me to play. I can't, I got work. Just sending over your way. I have Thursdays and Fridays off. Right, no problem. Q's, hit me up later. We have a big project coming up later towards the end of the month. If you want to come through and play for that, it's going to be on a Friday to a Sunday. So if you'd like to come through and play, I will fill you in on the details. And same thing applies to everyone watching this. If I ever decide to post this on YouTube, I probably will. Cause I mean, what is a radio without a talk show segment? And so, yeah. And I guess this is something I can do and host myself. And this is why I was saying earlier of like difficulty being active and inactive in the DJ VR streaming community, because it's a very, very difficult dynamic and dichotomy between the two sides. And so I don't want anyone to think I ever do this as a personality of any kind or anything of that nature, because it's just me. It's me. It's us, you know? So yeah. Alright, no problem, Q's. Enjoy the lurk, and if you can, make sure to follow the radio channel as well. We appreciate you. And I'll make sure to pass it forward. So yeah. So I'm very active on Twitch as a content creator. And like I said, this is a simulcasted stream between my personal stream as well as the main 4 AM Deadline Radio channel. And so the other reason why it's called 4 AM Deadline Radio is because when I stream, my original stream time schedule, post Unus Annus, for those that don't know what Unus Annus was a project that Markiplier did in 2020, along with Ethan, also known as Crank Gameplays, where it's Latin for 1 year. And in 1 year, they set out to make one video every single day. That was their goal, and they achieved it. And then after it, they deleted everything. Everything from that has been scrubbed, all records. The Reddit, the Twitter, the Facebook, all of it, gone. Because the phrase that came with Unus Annus was memento mori, which is remember death. And the whole point of Unus Annus was to show that, like, there's so much you can achieve in the course of 1 year. And so when, during the quarantine, I took it upon myself to follow that. Or, well, we, pronouns are a very strange thing, and we tend to go by we. As you could see. So, post Unus Annus, our main channel, Shadow Wulf Gaming, Shadow 82, we did that. We streamed for 1 entire year straight. And that's what we did. We took our time, and we grew as a channel, and we're still going. We hit a small stagnation point. And now the content creation realm has become a very strange spot for us. Like I said, the streamer world is a very strange place. Especially with content creation and how it is in modern day. It's very flashy. It's very... You want it quick. You want it digestible. But... How do I put this? Gimmicky. Very gimmicky, I guess you could say. And there's a lot of to what it takes to grow it and succeed in it. It's difficult and it's challenging. For some people, there's a lot of hubris involved, and that's something that scares me personally. I don't ever want to grow in a way where I'd have to step over someone. I don't want to grow in a way where I'm using other people for my own game. Ever. Like I said, we're a we. Because when you stream with me, we're working together. We create something. You're involved just as much as I am. And 9 times I don't feel like I'm doing much. But you all are the focus. From Shadow's end, Shadow is a streamer, Shadow is a gamer, Shadow Wulf, there's a reason why the original channel I had was called Shadow Wulf Gaming, because we come from the realm of Let's Plays, where the focus is the game at hand. We are just the mode of transportation. We are just showing you what the game is like. And so the other half of what 4am Deadline Radio is merits to journalism. My other background is that I'm a journalist. And so recently I've been getting into writing articles. And so it was something as asinine as like as a TV show. I'm about to lose connection. Give me one moment. Because, like I said, virtual desktop has been giving me a lot of issues lately. This is just a normality of VR. I'm going to keep talking until I actually get the point of my headset decides it wants to fuck off. Cool, I'm back. Alright, cool. There's a 50-50 chance of my... Not 50-50, like maybe a 60-40 at worst. Of my headset like crashing to the point where, not crashing, or virtual desktop getting to the point of disconnect where I'm like waiting for like a solid minute to reconnect back to my Wi-Fi, and then it's just like I have to close out virtual desktop, reopen it, stand back in position. There's a whole process to it. I've become accustomed to it. I'm being very, very careful with all my stuff. Primarily, my hand here, the controller, has horrible stick drift. If I shake it, I'm going to be flying back there. And so I'm trying to avoid that. And so that's why we're in this weird half-sitting position. Is the camera too high? I feel like it's too high. Don't worry about it. I'm rambling. I feel like even like regular radio station hosts aren't even like this run-on sentency, but yeah. So like I said, the whole point of 4am Deadline Radio was I want to be able to showcase the world of VR. I want to be able to showcase the amazing talent that we have in here. You know, VRChat is a very big space. It's a very beautiful place. There are so many wonderful minds, so many creative people, so many worlds that exist for anyone, you know? There's a niche for everybody in here. And like VR in itself is already a niche. And then there's niches within those niches. Like when we were talking with Noir the other day, please do, if you guys want to see that, please do subscribe to the 4am Deadline Radio Patreon so you can gain access to see those. Otherwise, all sets are free. All sets are promoted, free of charge, and like I said, we give those available to the DJs, and same thing with the interviews. So, yeah. And so, one thing that's been a very hot and controversial topic within VRChat as of late is the concept of money, and that is something that's horrifying to talk about. And as a businessman, you know, that's the whole point of business, is making money. Or, well, yes. I mean, the goal of a business is profit. However, I do not want to make profits benefiting off of other people. I want anyone who comes aboard with us, I want them to be able to benefit with us, you know? So, there's a lot in the background that I'm working on and discussing, and one important thing that will stick with me from my time in university is ethics in business. And like, that's the most important thing you need to do, is like make sure it's ethical. And so like, thankfully, you know, we're building a team. I'm so glad that Vamp has come along too, so that way like we can discuss like how to go forward with things and just like do these things, you know. And so, other things that came of note, and as a goal for the DJs here in VR is like, you know, for those who are chasing to go professional, who want to become like legitimate, like as big as, you know, as the big names that are playing like EDC and like as examples, merchandising is like one of the big topics I wanted to bring up with a lot of creators. Like, when I was working with Monochrome, I was thinking, hey, how about we make a sweater that has everyone that's come through and played that year with us, you know, that has a list of names and stuff like that. Or just like stickers, plushies, CDs. The big thing I want to do is help publish CDs for everybody. That's what I want to do. As a musician, I love CDs. I love collecting CDs. Now you got your vinyl collectors, but you know what? CDs are the most applicable in anywhere you go. You know, even though a lot of these things have gone the way to dinosaur, you know what? Dinosaurs still exist today, and they're called cassowaries. But yeah. Mind me, I also have to check both chats. I'm checking both the 4am Deadline Radio chat as well as my personal chat. So since this is, again, I need to repeat it, that this is a simulcast that I am doing. And it's been a minute since I've done a proper VRChat stream on my own channel. Or just even like a just chatting stream on my own channel. So this is kind of my excuse of being able to do both. And it's always been a thing for me to stream chord, where, yeah. Now, I'm sticking with just like a plain blank, formatted, I'm pulling a blank right now. Formatted camera mode. Rather than having the chat that pops up on my sides here, is just I want to be able to have just like a personal connection with you, the viewers, you, the audience that are watching, and I'll run this with Vamp as well, as of just like, supposed to be not. I would like to, and I guess just have this as like an update for you all, and just my thoughts on a lot of this. So yes, back to my back to Project Sapien. I'm a horrible comedian. But Project Sapien. So earlier in the stream, during the open decks when I was spinning for 3 hours, you noticed that I was using a blue robot. That blue robot was, well, I love Daft Punk, and so like when I perform in real life, when I do make it big eventually, I want to be able to perform like that. I perform like Daft Punk as the machines, you know? I don't... In the realm of celebrities and Hollywood and all that bullshit, I want the music to be the focus. I want that to be why people are coming through. And then, as you know, as a creator, I'm big for the realm of theatrics as well, you know? Might as well. And so Electropunk is a character I created to help format and showcase that. And I've been juggling around with a lot of ideas as to who are these characters. And so 82 has been my signature number for I don't know how many years now. Ever since I changed my gamer tag. So my original gamer tag was Lone Wolf Sniper back in the Xbox 360 days, and then I switched it to Shadow Wolf 82 because I was a super edgy teen, and I like shadows, I like wolves, and when it comes to gaming and FPSs, I want to be just a number, you know? So I'm number 82. And I think it was a reference to Blink-182. But in recent years, the 82 has become my symbol, and it's become the shape of a heart. If you ever look at my logo, it's the shape of a heart. And so it stands for infinite love when you look at it properly. And so I wanted to have Electropunk as a play on words. So EP 82. EP is like extended play or like electronic playlist 82, you know? And then like of course Daft Punk, steampunk, cyberpunk, electropunk. So Electropunk is my robot identity. And then slowly, I also built Soundtrack, who is supposed to be like the counter character of Electropunk, whereas Electropunk is more of my Green Day styled Billy Joe Armstrong out there, get on the dance floor kind of thing, you know, like how at music festivals DJs will like 3, 2, 1, go, you know, with like those kinds of drops. That's what Electropunk represents. You know, he is the punk. He is, you know, the loud one. He is the voice. He is the rebel. Soundtrack, on the other hand, Soundtrack is the character where they're meant to represent more of the music. They are a mute. And so to represent the mute, they let the music speak for them. And so Soundtrack was supposed to be my techno identity, because as a DJ, so kind of what we talked about with Noir the other day is like, you want to be known for a specific genre. You want to be known to spin one specific thing in the mainline real world space. And so for me, that's kind of what Sapien was supposed to represent, or well, does represent. And so where Electropunk is the loud boy one, and Soundtrack is the quiet one, because something you'll notice here in the VRChat scene, in the JP scene specifically, is that you don't hear people talk, hoot and holler and yell in the JP scene. Like, yeah, they'll throw the emotes like hold on, I need to go through like so many menus because I have to work with this one here. Like, you know, you'll see us throw things like that at the DJs, or like snowflakes, and it just represents like, we love this, thank you, we love your energy, you know. It's that kind of thing. And the same way is like how if you're tuned into any like Twitch streams, you know, you'll see people do emote spams and all that kind of stuff. It was the same thing. And so, coming back to what I was saying about the JP DJ scene is, there tends to be a lot more reverence in the performances, where there's a place known as Ghost Club, as my biggest example. Everybody knows Ghost Club if you're in the scene, if you're in the music scene. Ghost Club is like basically the Japanese venue in just sheer quality. The world is very well designed. The audio quality in the world is amazing, and then just, yeah. But the big thing is, if you talk in Ghost Club, you're instantly kicked out of the world. Like, that's one of the things. And so, and it's already hard enough to get in as it is. So if you get kicked out, you know, that's on you. And so, that's what soundtrack was supposed to represent for me. Soundtrack is the voiceless creative. And in techno, again, you don't really hear people like 3, 2, 1, drop. You know, you don't hear that in techno. Techno is just straight 4 on the floor beats, just right there. And so that's kind of what that represents. And so Sapien is the combination of both of those. Sapien is supposed to be like the loud bombast of electropunk and the silent voice of soundtrack. And so together they form Sapien. And as you can see, red and blue, or well, teal and red tend to be my combination colors here. I love the color teal and cyan, and red. Like, my original color scheme was black and red, so black and red is going to be like one of my signature color schemes. However, teal and pink, or cyan and magenta, are my other favorite color combos. So that's why we exist as such. Checking both chats again, in case anyone's saying anything. And so that's what Sapien is supposed to represent. And so initially, I created 4am Deadline Radio as a way of being able to push, as a way of being able to create and push Project Sapien, because I want to create music videos. You know, I love when music videos are super creative, like Gorillaz. Again, Daft Punk, Ganja White Night. If you watch any of those the music videos they create, it is just insane. And from my end, as Shadow Wulf, I want to hire and commission my friends to do animated music videos. I want to create those as well. And there are many wonderful creative talents that exist that I want to commission, push, and promote. Like, right now, I'm talking to my friend Harubid. Shout out to Harubid. I miss her. I hope she's doing well. She's a wonderful artist, a very beautifully talented singer from the Philippines. She is the ate. She's my ate. And, you know, I met her here in VRChat, and like, she did a lot of voice work for us when we were working with Monochrome. And so, like, I'm reaching out to her again, see if she can help us out with some 4am Deadline Radio stuff, and add some stuff to it. Let me just double check the time. So yeah, so we're working on that right now. And then my other friend Nibla, she's from Spain, and she is a very talented artist. She is an animator as well, and I would love to hire and commission her to do some animations for the music videos, you know? And like, I really want to make those a reality, because my big thing is, I want to destroy the industry from the inside and reshape it and help provide people an in, you know? That's the number one thing is that really sucks about any artistic and creative industry, is like, oh, you want to work with us? Show us your portfolio, kind of thing. And that was the big thing that irks me of it. Is like, all right. And then people are always asking, like, how can I do this when you can't even hire me, when I can't even get an internship to do it? Well, fuck it. You know what? If no one's gonna hire you, I'll hire you. You know, that's my goal. That's my, not perspective. That's my my motive, you know? It's like, all right, you want that foot in the door? Let me get you that foot in the door. You know, let's get you some experience. And so I want to commission my friends. I want to be able to help them achieve their dream of becoming animators, of becoming voice actors, of becoming musicians, of becoming great things that people want to be. Because we as humans are creatives. We want to create. I mean, like, if you're not a creator, you're a destroyer, but that's a whole different semantic philosophical journey that I am not going to delve into today, as well as, is my voice actually coming through? I need to double check my mic and how that's coming through. Okay, I'm fine. Like I said, we're a walk and run on sentence. We just kind of just keep going. And so yeah, that's the whole thing of it. And so, like I said, 4EMDR is that stepping stone for everybody. And so, if you want to be able to get yourself out there, that's what we want to do. And so, I created a whole cast of characters for Project Sapien. Like, I even was creating a comic that I should get back to doing. I need to finish that, and I've been putting it off, and it's been hard on me to... Well, there's a lot to do. There's the part where I need to go into VR and snag some photos to create the action shots I want to create, and all these different things. Like I said, I am a hobbyist of many different calibers. And so, yeah, Project Sapien is supposed to be from an alternate timeline, alternate dimension, where everything is run on music and the kinetic sound. And so 4AM Deadline Radio was like the big nexus point that came into existence for these characters, right? So where I stream, I is Shadow, or well, actually, Angel, the face of the IRL human face of Shadow Wulf Gaming. We call our place the battle station, right? And so the battle station is supposed to be able to connect to 4AM Deadline Radio, which is what connects everybody here. And then, yeah, it's a huge, muddy, interdimensional fourth wall breaking story that I tend to do a lot with my writing. Is just the fourth wall does not exist. The fourth wall does not exist, and so yeah. So that's that, and so that's why I have so many different avatars and personalities that apply to different things. So here, this blue one, this teal one, this is Tech, and this is the one a lot of people associate me with as Shadow. And then there's the red one over there, and name is Helena. And so I'm currently writing their story, and yeah, and you're gonna see them together a lot now, ever since I've created them. And so, yeah, that's a story you're all gonna have to follow for later. And yeah. And then of course there is the actual Shadow model that I have been meaning to debut as a proper VTuber, but there is lore to him as well. And then there is my Ready Player Me avatar, who is supposed to kind of be the alternate dimension existence that is the other version of Shadow that does exist. And so there's a whole story that comes through and exists within the Shadowverse, I guess you could say. And 4AM Deadline Radio was part of it, but now I want 4AMDR to be its own separate entity. And so we're working towards making it, I guess to kind of give you all some back end works of it, is we want it to be a label for our friends, you know? And like, of course everything comes through with like publishing and things like that, but we want to handle like the back end stuff for you. We want you to focus on just playing and like having fun. You know, that's the number one thing, is have fun with what you do. Have fun with your art, have fun with your craft, because when your art starts becoming work and you dread doing it every day, that's when it's not fun anymore, and then that's how creators get burnout. And that's really the difficult thing, especially like when you're chasing a dream like that, when you're chasing to become, well, yeah, to go legit, to become official, you know? And so we are casually professional. to put it in the lack of a better phrase, we're professional in the sense of like, hey, we got this, we got you covered, we're gonna get this done. we're gonna do this together. But casual in the sense of like, yo, I mean, like, I get it. Life is a bitch, and like, you need your time to get yourself safe, and we'll be right here when you're ready. You know, is that kind of thing. And that's what a lot of it comes down to. Is like I said, we want to change the industry from the inside out. We don't want to have that volatility that exists. We want to help you. We want to help push you guys, our friends, the creatives that are out here in VR. So yeah, wholeheartedly, that's what we want to do here in VRChat. And that's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's difficult. And so there's only so much we can do. And it's a piece by piece thing. I saw Clue join back. Oh, there you are. Welcome back, Clue. You sure you don't want to hop in on the camera and say hi?
I'm too small.
You're too small. You're like way down there. Hold on.
I'm just spinning.
You're in Spain without the A. Hold on, let's get the camera on you.
This is my AFK pose.
We can't see you in there. You're stuck inside.
There you go.
Bam. There we go. And thank you again, Clue, come through and playing for the open decks. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. No, thank you for having me.
Of course. Of course. And so yeah, I don't know how much of the convo you hopped in on.
Or
how much of it you've been hearing. Okay. And so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, we want to help push everybody that's in here, you know.
Heard about DJs and VRChat talking about they want to get paid and stuff like that.
So that has been a controversy for the past I don't know how many weeks now, and it's understandable. It's understandable, and we will approach that in the most abjective, not objective, because objectives are very strange. Like that is very like on the dot. Objective is like here, like between the lines. It's very between the lines on like how we can do that. And so when it comes to I guess the biggest concern if people do have with how 4EMDR is going to work in terms of the financial aspect of things with us, like anything that is raised will go back into 4EMDR itself. So like right now the biggest funding thing that would happen with it is that it's going to help pay for our what's it called? Either assets that we need to build worlds, the Dropbox, so that way we can of course get everyone's like sets uploaded and transferred there, and like that's why we come through and record other sets too, is so that way you can have a copy of your recording too, if you want to either upload it yourself or post it or have us post it for you, kind of thing. So that's full transparency what it would go towards, and then eventually it would go towards things of like flying someone out to play an event, like either out here in California where I'm at, or go to even like host IRL events ourselves, you know. And we want to do that for everyone. Is like, yeah, there's something big coming up possibly later in the year that I would like to help fund, you know. So things like that, or again, merchandising, like I was saying, like it would go towards that. Like if no, not if, when. So when the paperwork does go through in terms of the label work, like we will create proper contracts regarding it. We will help work proper numbers regarding it, and then like anything involving the funding will go directly towards whatever you need it for. Whether it's like you want to create stickers, t-shirts, in my case bandanas, because I love bandanas, you know, merchandising like that. That's what it's going to go directly towards. So we know exactly like, all right, we can write this off as like an expense because again, that's how businesses work. You know what I mean? It's that. And I understand like if you need it for like, but if you also need it for like, hey, I'm a little short on rent this month. Like I can understand things like that. So there's a lot of muddy waters involving money with VRChat. Because in the realm of VRChat, creatives like avatar makers, number one, they have Gumroad, right? Or Booth, even, for assets. So that makes sense. And then, as of recently, shout out to Ten, who has been creating a lot of digital art, and she's creating postcards and stickers with it. So, and if you and please do go check out Ten's work. She is a wonderful creator. She's a great VJ here in VRChat. She's an absolute sweetheart. Yeah, 10x. And she creates worlds too. So you can support individual creators like that. However, the club scene is really where things get muddy. And so paid clubs has been a very interesting prospect on things, right? And like paying DJs.
Oh, I
like,
didn't know that. I know there was like paid clubs in VRChat. I thought they were all just mostly free.
Okay, no paid clubs, but like clubs that are earning things through like a Patreon, right? So the biggest example I can think of, is like Just B Club. Everybody knows Just B Club or like Midnight Rooftop. Those are worlds with avatar creators that are supported through the Patreon. That's different, number one, because those are individual artists funded and privately funded as individuals, in the business terms, sole proprietors of their worlds, right? And then you have like Castle, who's also doing the same thing. Whereas, for example, here, we have Endy, and then you have other DJs like Zumer and Wolf Raven, who are streamers who happen to be DJs, right? That's a different type of thing. Anything that they make through Twitch, that's them as an individual. That's how they're getting paid to do this. Because of the Twitch subsystem. That's how that works, mechanically speaking. Whereas if we look at things like Shelter as an example, right? Shelter is there to help fund and pay for Kai, who is the world creator there. That's what the Shelter Patreon does and helps out for. And so, coming back to us, with 4am Deadline Radio, our funding helps fund the project as a whole. And eventually, down the line, helps fund everyone else that comes in and signs in with us. Until we are a self-sustaining ecosystem? No, I guess ecosystem would be the right phrase. You get what I mean though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas other clubs, let's see. So again, the concept of like paying your DJs is possible. There are so in Juno's world, for those that don't know who Juno is a drum and bass DJ based out here in Los Angeles who does VJ, visual jockeying for actual venues and IRL events. And so their world, Rain, you can set up like a tip jar, and anything raised for all the DJs there is going to be split evenly between all the DJs, right? And so that's how that works. But for a club specifically to earn money and not pay the DJs is kind of like what's been causing a lot of issues. However, so that's something that like I'm talking with and working on with another group friend of mine, right, and so like yeah, that it's still a difficult topic and conversation to talk about, but like yeah, being able to pay your dancers, pay your DJs, like that is a difficult thing to go about. It's very messy. But then again, coming back to the whole thing of like things like Just Be Club and like an entity like that, it would go back towards the club itself and like fun things like map updates or the CDN. But it also depends as to who's part of the staff, you know, and whether the DJs are contracted or things of that nature. So it's very strange and muddy water to talk about, which I really appreciate you for bringing up, and like it helps round out the entire conversation we've been having here on the stream. Like, thank you. Like, thank you. It's difficult and it's scary to talk about. 100%. There is no there is no one clean way to go about it. And so that's why we're working towards making this an official, legitimate organization. And so I need to work on my end, on the back end. There's a lot of paperwork I'm going to be filling out to help legitimize this and finalize this. And so right now in the legal aspect, we cannot have any contracted performances yet. So we're not there yet. We will achieve it, just in time. Because right now franchising in California is expensive as all hell and it's going to cost me about $1,000. So that yeah. So that's the difficulty behind it. So thankfully right now we're able to exist as an entity over through Twitter, Twitch, and every other social media that does exist. So yeah. And it's different worldwide wherever you go. Like there's a reason why Sony Records in the United States exists differently compared to Sony Records Japan. Two entirely different like records and copywriting laws that do exist. So yeah. Yeah. But at the least, you know, as a courtesy, providing your place as a platform to publicize and promote your DJs is a great thing as well. So like when let's see, I guess another way of putting it is like individually contracted DJs, or well, just individual entity DJs, such as again Zumair, Wulf Raven, Andy, who are primarily earning through their own communities through Twitch, right? And then having them come play for your club is different, right? And that's one way to help solve the money issue as well. Is like, if you enjoy these kinds of DJs, come through, go subscribe to them over on Twitch. You know, that's exactly like one way of doing it, is like properly promoting them. Because dancers and DJs coming through to promote for your club, like, at least give them the courtesy of promoting them. I mean, like, there's the whole joke of being paid in exposure, which is kind of a meme in itself, but it's something, you know? Whereas, like, if your club is profiteering off of DJ, now that's unethical. That profiteering is a whole separate issue. So yeah. And I've had my... I guess that's my 2 cents on the topic. Again, objectively speaking, as the business major, and just how things operate in that sense, and to kind of put the fire out before it starts again, you know? So yeah. But like, goals we want to have with 4EMDR is to become an official label for our friends to help push and promote their work. First and foremost, we want to help you guys get out there and get your music out, you know? And let us handle the legal work for you. That's the other big part of it is like, yeah, like, I've looked into the numbers, I've looked into, like, how to set things up, I've looked into how other companies and labels do their splits, and, like, again, the artist is our priority. The creator is our priority, you know? We want to give the creators the freedom and room to breathe and create. We're just the ones who helps get your name out there, you know? That's it. So yeah. And again, I really appreciate that you brought it up, Clue. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to Project Sapien. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I guess for me as an individual coming back into this, and this is gonna be for both, as like a commentary from both Shadow Wulf, on my stream side, as well as from 4EMDR's side, is just like, on my end as an individual streamer, that's why I've been finding it difficult of whether or not I should post my sets over on 4EMDR. Because I'm pretty much going to play every event we're going to host, right? And it's like, I don't think that's fair to any of the DJs that are coming through, because like, I would have my name like 50 times on the YouTube channel, whereas like some people will only be on there like 2 or 3 times, right? Do you, like, as the host, like, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair to anybody, that I get to be on there multiple times, and like, I should be publishing my stuff on my own channel or post it to Mixcloud, you know, but right now as it stands, Mixcloud is horrifyingly priced, to say the least. So yeah. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. And so, yeah. With Project Sapien, that is just one of my many music projects that are on my list of projects that I have projects on projects. Creatively speaking. Yeah. Yeah. And so, with the story of Project Sapien, the tagline that comes with it is humanity through music. And that's the big factor I really want to push with it, is that, like, the story of, like, 2 robots understanding humanity by being able to experience the emotions of music, rather than just having it as something algorithmic to them, you know? And so, that's what Electropunk and Sapien represent. Ouch. And yeah. So originally when I did create 4EMDR, each of those characters was like one of the entities that helped host a lot of this stuff. And so my Ready Player Me avatar is known as the director. He represents, well, the brains of the operation. Yeah. And so each character represents a different style that I've been. One character that I might have to drop, his name is Captain Swing, is owned by DDVR, and is one of the free public abbeys that exists. And I would use that to represent me whenever I play Electro Swing, because we swinging, you know. He's got like a cool Plague Doctor mask and like a bowler hat and a really dapper outfit, which fits perfectly with the whole Electro Swing concept, you know. It's very steampunk Victorian style. And then my other character that I use, Lady Shocky, is a public model that I use for a little bit, who represents a little bit more of a sensual side, you know? Very effeminate, very sexy, straight up, is like... And that's what she represents, you know? Whereas Tech is kind of like the more all-rounder house vibes. Or just like really any emotional set that I play. Again, Tech is known as the emotional kid. So... So yeah, that's who this character represents. And I have created an official model for Shadow. Like I said, as the VTuber, I'm working on creating the debut, but also, do I really need to debut? I mean, eh. I feel like... And the whole concept of VTubing is a conversation that's a challenge. I'm about to disconnect again, hold on a second. Again, Virtual Desktop has been doing this to me for the past I don't know how many days now, and I'm just gonna keep talking until I actually disconnect, so that way I could just like know where I'm gonna end up cutting this on the floor, because yes, and I'm really good at that too. It's just like running my mouth until I actually just like get cut out. It's
I just want to be one with nature.
check. Okay. So yeah. What was the last thing I said again?
I
don't know.
I forgot.
It's okay, don't worry about it. Like I said, I'm just... yeah. So... Again, this is just the radio portion of 4am Deadline Radio. So, at the least, we want to give you that courtesy for anyone who does watch this. If you are a DJ in VRChat, and you want to get yourself out there, and you want to do things professionally, let's help you get there. Alright? That's why we're here. You want to get your name out there, you want to publish your work, let's help you out. We'll help record sets for you, we'll help record events, like full events, and we'll get you the footage for you. If you want to publish it yourself, or if you want us to publish it for you, we'll give you that courtesy. Let us know. And we're open to collaborate with any groups. Last year, a year and a half ago, we did collaborate with Kawaii Till I Die. And I have been working and daunting the editing process of that. And so yeah, that's been a major issue. Oh, VTubing. That was the topic I was on. Individually as a VTuber in a VRChat, this has been a very difficult like situation for me, because I, as Shadow, am a professional, you know, professional content creator. I can say that legitimately because of how many years I've put into this. But also, like, I haven't been able, like, I do it as a service, really. I want to have content creation as a career. I want to be able to earn and be paid through doing what I do, just playing video games and bringing you all through the adventure. But I want to do it the old way, the way YouTubers have done it since the days of Markiplier. You know, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Manga Minx, PewDiePie, Gassy Mexican, C-Nanners, all these different YouTubers. Yeah. And like, I want to be able to earn that way, you know, rather than like doing it for the gag, you know. Like, I never really grew up with that. I always grew up with the game is the focus. Like, let's bring you through the story so we can be scared so you don't have to, you know. Like, I know everybody jumped on the Five Nights at Freddy's train. I could have jumped on the Five Nights at Freddy's train while I was in university, because I'm a chicken shit when it comes to horror games, and I hate playing horror games. I know, like, you'd all watch it for the reactions and all that, but when it comes to me in single-player games, I'm all in it for the story. If I'm playing multiplayer, a meme on me, like fucking throw out emojis and dank meme it up on me. Like I'm more than okay with that. But if I'm playing a single player game, please, like, it bothers me whenever like someone. Okay, so story time. One time I was playing Far Cry 6 on my stream, right? And then someone hosted my channel during when I was playing Far Cry 6, and it was during this most brutal scene where a character died, and it was like the best friend of the main character, and they were just primarily executed, lack of a better phrase, because that's exactly what happened. And then someone decided they wanted to host my channel right at that moment, and my host sound effect is Gura from Hololive saying, "Gura, my dog died. Let's go!" Right, and so that came up right as that scene happened, and like I was having the moment of the character dying, and then the guy, like the one who hosted me, was like, "What's wrong? You should be happy. I hosted you." And I'm like, "Do you not see what just happened? Do you know what you just did?" And so like it Twitch streaming as a creator is a very different ballgame from creating as a YouTuber, on all accounts. And I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know if because I don't want to do it like that. I don't want to. This is why things like TikTok and like YouTube Shorts are hard for me, because you want to be able to have that quick gag and that quick laugh, but I'm a very emotional person, and like when I'm playing a game's story, I'm very invested in that story. And this is for me. This is me talking as Shadow, not for 4am Deadline Radio. Like, since I'm recording this on and streaming this on both channels right now, I kind of have to I have to address that. And so that's why it's difficult for me to really push myself out there and push subscriptions and all that, because it's a free service. What I do as a streamer, like I only excuse me, sorry, I had a big dinner, so my bad. What I do as a gaming streamer, like I do it as a service, really. Like, if you want to subscribe, you're welcome to. If you want, like, if you really want to support the channel like that, I really appreciate it. As an individual, like, that helps, because on my side, on Shadow's side, is when you subscribe to the channel, you're helping fund the work. You're helping me with my green screen stuff. You're helping me buy assets for my avies. You're helping me buy the games that we're gonna play on stream. And that's the transparency I always give whenever I'm streaming. That's what those are for. But I will never push them. Like, I've tried to. I want to, but I don't do that, because I don't know what else to give you all as my viewers. My viewers as Shadow. And so yeah. And so right now, this is one of the few times I'll cross over the conversation between 4am DR and Shadow Wulf Gaming, since I'm simulcast. Again, for clarity's sake, I am simulcasting this. I don't know why my half of it on Twitch is still streaming, even though I did raid you, but it's okay. And I did disconnect my stream, but it's okay. Oh. So 4am Deadline Radio was always was always part of how I, as Shadow, am always a late night streamer. Because ever since I was in school, I was always up late at night. Not just playing video games, but also, you know, doing my studies and all that. And I'd be up till 4 or 5 in the morning and still be able to make my classes, you know? And still pass. And I know what it's like. Go on ahead.
I appreciate all of you guys' support, even if you can't because you're busy doing
What?
your day job.
Oh, I know, I heard something from your mic. Did you want to say something?
Thank you. You allow me to do what
I was just listening to music.
Okay. Hell yeah. Who you vibing to right now? Or you just listen to
Goji?
ND's set right now? Joji? Hell yeah.
No, Goji.
Goji. Ooh. How that is.
I'm not sure.
For tuning in and jamming
Goji. I'm just listening to SoundCloud.
It's always good to have you guys like say hi and chat from time to time.
But yeah. Enough about us though. Tell us about you though, Clue. Like how tell us your process on music and such.
Not really sure. I know that I'm still kind of new to DJing, I guess. But some people already think that I'm like good at DJing, even though I don't really think so. I mean, I guess like I started DJing like last year with just a mouse, like using the Tractor DJ2 software. I was just playing around. Well, more like when I was using that, I try to like imitate as if I do have a controller, like the way I mix using a mouse. And I got a DJJ 400 like a month ago, and then translated really well.
Hell yeah. No, and that's the strategy, honestly, for a lot of people is like that's how they start off. Using virtual and stepping up from there until you can actually get your gear and, you know. Yeah.
I mean, I still feel like I don't really like the way I DJ, probably because I always compare myself to other people. Like I compare myself to like other DJs in VRChat that I like, and the way they mix is like a lot more like it makes sense to me, I think. And the way they rise the energy and like make it lower or like higher is like insane to me. I can't do that yet.
There's a lot of nuance to it. There's a lot of nuance to it for sure. Yeah. I mean, I've only been spinning for about 2 years now, so like I get you. I guess to kind of help you with that, like number one rule of DJing, when in doubt, fade out. That's always the best thing you can do. Yeah.
I guess it just echo out or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like the more you play, the more you'll literally it's the realm of fuck around and find out. You know, the more you fuck around, the more you'll find out what works, what doesn't work. And yeah. And it's okay to mess up too. Like the only ones who really notice you'll mess up is you. Like this is just that's just performance 101.
I mean, when I played in Showcase Magenta, I think I've probably like fucked up a ton of transitions, but people didn't really like notice at all. But I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Like, okay. So I've talked with a lot of other DJs about this. Like, so one funny thing is like in the moment when you're hearing it, like, and you're like in the zone, it's like fuck yeah, that was amazing, and like. But then when you go back and you listen, your set's like, oh god, I did that, and then you just clench.
Yeah, that's how I feel like.
Yeah.
It's alright.
What matters
when you're playing it, and when you listen back, like, it's like that's kind of weird. Yeah, and like especially since we're using like desktop speakers and like, I don't know about you, what kind of headphones you're running to listen to your stuff. We're not gonna hear it. Like, it's not gonna be as obvious to us. Yeah. And just
yeah.
Just using like these cheap IEMs.
Yeah.
As like the earphones for the controllers.
You're using IEMs? I'm just using like a pair of like $40 skull candies. Hell yeah. You're already like
something like that, I think.
But no, like you have the gear, you have the tools. Mm.
The thing is, I don't. When I mix with when I like DJ with the mouse before, I didn't even like use like cues and like headphones like cue myself. I would just play based off of waveforms and stuff.
And that's 100%
But it definitely
valid.
helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it definitely helps more with like earphones, like be match the song before, like fitting it up.
Yep. And then like that's the thing, is just like those are just techniques you'll learn and develop on your own as well. And you know, tutorials are always helpful. And then just watching your friends too. You know, watching or listening to your friends and like watching how they mix. Yeah. Like
I feel like that's how like most people in VRChat become better DJing, because they hang out with people that are like really good at DJing. And then they became really good as well.
Yep. It's just that's literally it. Is just trust the process, really. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Like right now, like just watching Endy right here as well, is like I can see and hear where they're transitioning and stuff on their music. And like the only okay, so when it comes to a crowd who doesn't perform, you know, like again, no one's gonna hear the mess up except you and maybe like one or two other people, but no one's really gonna say anything about it. And if they do, they're absolute dicks. To be fair, like, you know, but if you ask for like critique or like, and like, so I did this one time with Paul. Shoutouts to Paul Manton, by the way. Paul Manton is a super cool dude. Please do make sure to give him a follow over on Twitter and check his stuff out. Great DJ, really good person. Like I was talking to Paul, and I was like, Paul, I could like I want to get better at DJing. Like, can you help me out with actually the same thing you were asking me about, of like just the energy, you know, and how you flow with it. So yeah, number one thing is know your music.
Paul is actually, I think Paul is actually one of the first persons that like got me into like talking to other DJs as well. Like talking to DJs that's in the same country as mine.
Hell yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul showed me Midori. I didn't even know that there was like another Malaysian DJ in this game. Yeah. Now Midori and me are friends. Yeah. So that's cool.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, Paul's very interconnected with a lot of the Asian communities here, which is really cool. And dude's on the East Coast too, so it's like he's up in the early ass hours of the day, even more so than me, really. But yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Is it like like 3 in the morning?
It's almost 4 a.m. here. It's 3:40 at the time of this recording right now. So yeah. But yeah. What's it called?
I guess you know what helps when you have a really shitty mood? Exercise.
But yeah. So yeah. In terms of energy, there's 2 things to keep an eye out for. Number 1 is BPM, and then number 2 is key.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you create, what's up?
Isn't like Recordbox's key system like isn't like 100% right? Sometimes it'll say like the keys in A sharp or something like that, but it's actually like B minor.
Okay, so that's music theory right there, right? And so
yeah,
A sharp and same note. It's just How good is your music theory, first and foremost? Do you have any experience in that or not really?
A tiny bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for me, I don't ever actually look at those. I just know my tracks. It's a bad thing to say. But everything you heard me play tonight, is stuff I've played in the past multiple times. Like, you'll hear me recycle sets, and like I've dug through at least like 5 other events that I've played in when I was playing tonight's stuff. Yeah. And like I was like, okay, I know I played this track because I saw this track like 2 sets ago. What the fuck is the Roomba doing? Hold on. The Froggy Cart Roomba is just it's just climbing up the wall. Okay. So anyways, but yeah. So when you create a set, like do you just hunt down new tracks for it, or do you tend to reuse a couple songs here and there where it's like I use this one, but I really like this one. I'm really feeling this one. Or do you tend to do it more like how take us through your process of just going through the music?
I mean, like lately I've been just doing like trying to find new music, or just searching through my SoundCloud likes, the one that I liked before, and I'm thinking like, oh, which one works together and stuff. Like which one has like the same kind of genre sound.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And then, how often do you listen to those songs that you pick out? Like, do you just give it a one-off listen, and then it's like, oh, I like this, and then just throw it into a crate, or do you at least like kind of give it a couple listens to like know different parts of it?
It's like both. Like, oh, I like this, I'll just put it in, and then there's also like, oh, I know this song very well, also put this in.
Okay.
There's probably like songs that I like listened to once like 3 months ago, and I'm just like, oh, I forgot about this song. I'll just put it in because it makes sense. In a set, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So to give you a little bit of my technique,
I think that.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say that I think that probably like just playing one genre is the easiest, but at the same time it's kind of like boring as well. Because you're just playing like a one type of music the whole time, so that's just what I think.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So I was yesterday when we were talking with Noir about this one is if you're going to a D&B event, you're not gonna go in and play house. Like you might be able to throw in like one house track to kind of mix things up and then go back to D&B, right? But like yeah. But for me, like tonight, I was like, do I really want to just do 3 hours of techno? I'm like, nah, because like you said, that would feel a little stale. So like I did like one whole ass hour of techno, and then like I just fucked around and found out whatever worked. But like right now, as we can hear,
okay.
Yeah,
that's why I think before I heard like some techno that you were playing before, like hard techno stuff. And then when I came back, you were playing like random house music.
Yep. And then I closed out with some Hatsune Miku.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
I think I was preparing for that while you were playing the Hatsune Miku song.
Yeah. Because again, a lot of that from my other crate that I had. Oh, okay, I was about to disconnect. Came from my other crate that I had where at Magenta for Showcase, I was like, okay, I want to do an otaku medley set and just play everything weeby possible. So like, in that crate, yeah, I had a bunch of Hololive songs. I had the theme from Neon Genesis Evangelion. I had the theme from Cowboy Bebop. You know, things like that. Yeah. Man.
Now that you mentioned about like Hololive songs, I was thinking about making like a Hololive set and just like post it on my SoundCloud. And I completely forgot about that. I literally thought of that idea like 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah. Number one thing.
It's
when
just
you're
like
mo-
Hollow Life covers all of them.
Oh, hell yeah, do it. And you'll
Oh,
never know
that's what I thought.
who's gonna come through and listen. Yeah.
Maybe.
Like the number one thing you want to do while you're playing is have fun. Like if you're having fun,
yeah.
the crowd's having fun. Yeah. You know.
True. That's why I
for
try to like not
us-
DJ like the same songs, because playing the same songs like before versus like now, it's kind of like I don't feel it as fun as before.
Yep.
Okay.
That's fair. I'm the same way.
I just use
I understand
phrases.
that. Yeah. There's times where like I'll play a set and I'm like, okay, so oops, hold on, sorry, my hand's in your face. So like I practice as I play, right? Like I'm always
Yeah.
like a chef in the kitchen, like do I add just a little bit more, a little pinch more or a pinch less of pepper into this steak, right? And like,
Yeah, a little bit more mid or not.
yeah, exactly. So like, I don't like practicing a set. If I'm gonna go into an event,
Yeah.
I don't want to practice that set before I go into it because it's like, because I'm very in the moment with the music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's different for every DJ. No, like if you ask someone else the same thing, like they're gonna tell you something different for sure.
Yeah, taking an arrow to the North slaying
True.
before getting married.
Yeah. Things you practice is the transitions, but things you play is what you feel, and you can take that to the bank.
True. Because
Yeah.
I think Midori, he usually practices his set before playing. Well, he even told me like, okay, practice like for like the magenta, the event. He told me like, okay, please just practice first. He even told me like to put key points and stuff. And then after he played in the, I think in the nurture event, I think
Mm-hmm.
it was like a big one happening.
Yep.
He told me like,
Naku's event, yeah.
I don't think people even care. I don't think people even care about transitions. Like, he just told me like, you know what? It doesn't really matter if you put a key point turn on. I'm like, okay. So I just freestyled playing at Showcase
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Which is a lot more fun.
And that's the thing about music is like, music is really more about how you feel, right? Yeah, like there is a lot of technicalities to music for sure. Like, of course, playing on beat or like going with the mood and the flow. Like, of course, that's all there.
Yeah.
And it's different to how each of us experience it, you know? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Magenta. I'm not sure what I'm gonna be playing in the next Showcase.
And that's okay.
Like I said before. It's probably like not gonna be like prepared. Probably just gonna be like free DJ. I'll just pick some stuff from the playlist in my record box.
Yeah.
Just some random stuff that I played before.
Yeah. So like I was saying earlier of like how with Project Sapien to kind of round back to that conversation again. I play how I feel in that moment, right? Whenever I'm playing as those two with the robots.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm playing techno, I'm going as mechanical as possible of like, okay, what can work here, what can work there, what sounds good here, what sounds good there. Okay, if I loop this area, layer it, okay, cool. Techno is called techno for a reason. It's very modular and mechanical. House is very much more of like how you feel in that moment. D&B is a very strange one. That one, D&B, trance, and hardstyle, there's a specific flow to it. Like, you said you watched the waveforms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best cue point you'll ever have.
What about the DNB stuff? What about the DNB waveforms? Is it that different from other ones?
Yes and no. Yes and no. If I did a little bit more of a deep dive into my DNB, you'll hear where it's a lot more ambient. I tend to do a lot more of like ambient DNB. I guess it's ambient DNB. I don't know. I don't know the specific subgenres of it. Besides breakcore is a thing that exists, but thematically, I go by themes. I play by theme. There we go. That's the best way to put it. Yeah. So if I'm doing a techno set, but I also want to jump into DNB, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna do a spacey type vibe. Like, yeah. And so like, there's the reason why songs have super long ass intros and very long breaks between each of those sections is so you can transition between those points. That's the little secret there.
But
yeah.
Usually those are ones that are like extended stuff.
Yeah.
There's like some radio edit, then it'll just be like a breakdown to the chorus really fast, like probably like 8 or 16 bars.
Yeah.
That fast.
And that's why the loop button exists.
Yeah, I think I loop everything when I play, because I don't have cue points and stuff. So either I would look at the waveforms, or just loop everything.
Yep.
At the beginning, or maybe at the ending. Yeah.
Pet. Oh yeah. I'm also like just watching the clock too.
There's like 80 minutes left.
Yeah.
Looping just makes DJing a lot more easier.
Absolutely, yeah. And like,
well, it depends.
Yeah.
Unless like someone, like, if I try to like make the loop more like complex, then yeah, it's gonna be harder, because then you need to like actually time it right to like let go of the loops and stuff.
Yep.
Like you're looping both of the songs. Yeah.
A bit harder.
If I was using my my other DJ format layout, you could have seen how I was looping. Cause like I like to show how I'm playing. And like I usually show the waveforms on the bottom of my Twitch stream, so you could like see exactly what's happening. Like, yeah, I'm a shitty magician, and I'll show my hand and how things work, but like, it, you know. Yeah.
I mean, I should probably like do that as well. Like show the waveforms in the next event that I play.
Yeah, do it.
If it's like not like super big events, then I should probably just show the waveform, because why not?
Yeah. If you feel comfortable doing that and and that's how you want to play it, go for it. If it helps you. But what genres and what styles do you like to play mainly?
I mean, I'm not really sure, because right now I usually just play something like house or techno, but when I started DJing, I played something like neo grime or like Jersey Club, because that's how I got into DJing, because I like those type of stuff that I heard from like other DJs in VRChat. Of course, the first one is like Maddie or something, or someone like that.
Hell yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes imitation is the best thing you can do, is to learn the tricks, you know?
Well, actually, I think the first time that I actually tried to like imitate someone is in the Ghost Club set, like Gen Z and Obake's back to back last year in the Ghost Week. I literally like tried to copy like Gen Z's part, because I liked the way he mixes. I mean, I kind of like try to copy a lot of people's the way they mix, like Velatix, Gen Z, maybe like some other like those big artists like Malgrab, Hetama, those like house and techno artists.
Okay.
the way they mix it is also like kind of cool. And they always use like effects and stuff, so I try to imitate that as well. But usually when I DJ, it doesn't sound as good as like how they DJ when they're using effects. I think.
Effects is a very double-sided sword for sure.
Yeah.
How often
I
do
barely
you
know
ever
how to
watch
use effects yet.
Okay. Do you ever watch like
Yeah.
hold on, I think I'm about to disconnect again. You can answer this one as I'm like trying to reconnect. But do you ever watch like IRL DJ sets? Like where you can actually see like the full-on
Yeah, I
controller
do.
and stuff, or no? Okay.
Yeah. I watch like Boiler Room, Mix Mag, like
Hell
horror
yeah.
Berlin type of stuff.
Yo, I love horror.
Popular.
Horror is one of my favorites. Mhm.
Yeah. I think actually the first live DJ set that I saw is from like Kenny Beats, like just mixing hip hop stuff and trap. It was really good. Kenny Beats.
Nope. Hold
And then
on.
from there, I started to like mall grabs and stuff. I've been like Skin on Skin. It's actually someone's artist name.
Okay, sorry about that. Oh.
Yeah.
Like I said, virtual desktop's been doing this strange thing on me for a minute now. Okay, here we go. I'm back. Nope. I'd say this is me saying like oh, there we go. Is I'd say Alice in Wonderland is a really good set to check out on Mixmag and just watching how she does it.
Yeah, I think I've seen
Okay,
it before.
you've seen that one, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, not really. The thing is, the what she played, I wasn't really a fan of. So.
Oh, fair.
So like people that are like super duper like most viewed sets and stuff like Carl Cox, I think.
Carl Cox?
I don't know what
Yeah.
his name is. I forgot. Yeah.
Carl
like,
Cox is legendary.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland. Whenever I like, it's probably like a good thing to watch him just like learn how they transition and stuff. But I'm not really into their song choices, so I'm not sure.
I mean, wouldn't you say that's the best way though? Is like, I don't like how you played that, or I don't like those songs, but I do like how you played that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm the type of person that like heard one mix and just listens to that one mix for like a week because you really like it.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. Like, it's hard though, because like once you do start getting into it, it's like I can't not overanalyze how you do this now. This sucks. You know what I mean? But yeah. Well, that's good though. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of like? Have you heard of this artist called Skin on Skin?
I have not. What style are they?
Yeah, he's like, I think he's sort of like a house techno break type of stuff. Even like, it's like UK drill type of like house and techno. The way he makes music, I think. I've been listening to one of his sets like a lot. I'll show you later.
Yeah, send it to me. Send it to me. I'll give it a listen when I have the time to.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely Carl Cox, good choice. They are a legend for a reason.
Yep.
What? Okay, let's check the chats.
Carl Cox is amazing.
Yeah.
I think he even like in one of his interviews he says that he doesn't like prepare his sets because he said that at that point that's how artistic anymore. Or something like that. I don't remember.
Wait, which one?
I think in one of his interviews, Talk said that like if you prepare for a set, then that's not really like artistic anymore or something like that. I don't remember what he said.
To one extent. It's fair though. Like
Yeah.
I do understand what he's saying with it though. Hold on, someone posted something in my chat in Russian, and I need to translate this. Hold on a second. Frame lagging is horrible. A, B, C, D, E. Translate this for me. Control V. Привет. Привет. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome, viewers. I hope you're having a good time. But yeah,
Yep.
So it's interesting to say that though, because like, again, to each their own. To every DJ their own thing. Yes, there is a way of going about it to have both planning and no planning at the exact same time.
Yeah.
I guess to give you insight on how I build my crates, besides recycling half of everything that's in my library, and digging for new stuff, like anything I mix is gonna have a blend between old and new songs that I found. But also, what do I want to theme it around? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, going back to my Project Sapien, is like, one of my sets I themed and called it Gorilla Jungle, right? But I spelled gorilla like, you know, like a guerrilla, like the soldier term. And some people were thinking like, so is that like jungle or like breakcore? What is that? And then like everything in there was just hardcore dubstep, but like Black Tiger, Sex Machines, Resistance, Rebels, what else? Jungle Juice by Ganja. And so like the whole theme of it was jungles, you know, like that. And
Jungles.
yeah.
Hardcore jungle.
And, yeah. And like if I try to go back and replay that set, I'm not gonna be able to, because I'm not in that same headspace anymore to do that. Like, but the whole theme was like rebellion, you know, just like, and there was a lot going on in my life at that time when I created that set too. So for me, a lot of the music I put together is a reflection of what I'm going through, and as well. You don't have to do it that way. Not everyone has to do it that way.
Well,
yeah.
I think I want to try to do that.
Okay.
But it never happened.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I always say is like, my dad said music is food for the soul. I say music is the voice of the heart. That's what I go by with it, right? And so like I said, I was jumping through like every crate I've ever played tonight. Yeah. And so
I think music is just noises.
Exactly. Yeah, music is just noise, mathematical noise put together in a way that sounds great to our ears.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's like an articulate noises.
Exactly. Exactly. Yo, what up, Fricked Up? Welcome, dude.
7 p.m.
Welcome to 4 a.m. Deadline Radio. We just hit the 4 a.m. mark. You want to be the last person to close out the night?
Sure, why not? Let's fucking get it.
All right, let's go downstairs. All right, cool. And this is exactly why we have that name. But yeah, let's do it. Let's head down. Alright. And then I'll record it and post it for you. Yep. Okay, let me...
How do you get set up?
Yeah, go for it. Take your time. I'm gonna end the recording session here. And go from there. Auto level. Perfect. Smooth. Perfect. Or wait.
Welcome on in. Hope you enjoy your stay.
Okay, pin 1, pin 2. Set this to global. Perfect. Alright. Alright, and then back to this one. Alright. And so I guess, closing out the night, DJ Fricked Up VR. So, for when this does go to YouTube, thank you again, Clue, for coming through and playing. And the round table conversation. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
This is going to be the last DJ of the night. Until next time, you all know what to do. I'm going to go deafen and start a new recording session. Let's go.